Hey guys, it's Lauren Yates from Rave It Up here, and I'm privileged to be with Peter Graham today.
Oh man,
Pete.
how good is this?
I know, so many cameras on you. It's fantastic. Thank you for welcoming us to your house.
It's an honour to have you here, mate.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Definitely coming back, closer to Christmas and seeing your great light display.
Oh, actually, don't talk about that because what's happened, NASA rang last night and said, can you turn the lights down a little bit, the space
Because they're
station?
too bright.
Yeah, they couldn't sleep or something, I don't know.
Oh
It's
my gosh.
Valley World, well and truly.
Welcome to Rave It Up, though, because
Thank
this
you.
is your first time on the show.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show. But do you know that we have met before? I don't know if you
Yes.
remember. A few years ago, it was about 2014, back in April. Time has flown.
Would that been Blacktown?
No. I actually did some work experience at 2UE, and I
That's
was
where you
answering
were,
the
too.
phones for your
Yes.
show.
Yeah, that's right, on the Saturday night. And also, because I did the Blacktown City Parade Festival for quite a few
you
times.
did?
I used to call into your radio studios, which are in one of the car parks too. I think I saw you there maybe once or twice too. But I'm not sure. Yeah, they were good days.
I don't think I've gone to that one yet, but at least you've heard of the radio station.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love your show, by the way. Like,
thank
when I was doing a work experience for your show, I'm like, oh, these songs, like, you play a lot of my favorite ones. I'm just,
Really?
old-
God. I
old
thought
girl
I was
at
the only
heart.
one who...
No.
Okay.
Well, you get to play all your favorite songs,
I
don't
do,
you?
Yeah, no one knows. Yeah, they're all my favourites. I like it.
Oh. So if people haven't tuned in, it's Saturday night, 6
yeah.
p.m. till what, midnight?
yeah,
So
yeah.
you haven't had a Saturday night to yourself for
Man,
so
yeah.
long.
Yeah, well, to see my age, my all-night parties end about 9 o'clock, so it's a big battle to go through the midnight, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun, and the show's grown. We're now going to Brisbane and Melbourne and Perth, as well as regional New South Wales and Queensland too, and there's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's good. So
You'll
do
have
you
to come in and
sleep?
do the phones again.
Oh, if you need me, I
Yeah.
will be there. That was actually fun. You get some different callers, interesting
Yes.
callers.
Yes, you're right there. Well, it is a Saturday night around Australia, and most people are, maybe a beer or two by the time they phone in. It
Yeah,
might have been
especially
3 or
when-
4, yeah.
Especially when it's later at night.
Exactly.
Yeah. So does that mean you sleep most of Saturday so you can try to get through to midnight?
Oh, no, Sunday's a bad day. It's Saturday's just a normal work day. I do a lot of research and things like that and tidy it all up. Sunday I'm jet lagged like crazy because I can't sleep when I get home and the adrenaline's running through, and it's normally about 3 a.m.
By the time you get to bed.
And then I wake up early because I'm early rising, so I'm up at 6 or something. Then cranky as a bear all day.
So yeah, Sunday's a bad day.
Yeah, bad
Just
day.
leave Pete alone. Now, I have noticed 2UE has replaced News Talk with lifestyle and branded content now. How come?
Okay, well, let me. How do I explain this? We merged with Macquarie Radio, which is 2GB.
Yes.
Okay, they don't want two stations with the same kind of format. So they've made Macquarie still the news and current affairs, and with 2UE and the network, it's lifestyle. So it's about holidays, it's about gardening, it's about everything that's sort of the opposite of, I'm angry, who's responsible for this, which Prime Minister, blah, blah, blah. So ours is, hey, look, we've got this termite thing in the back fence, what do we do? So it's a different kind of thing. They're just trying to separate it a little bit. And it's obviously, initially, people who liked the old 2UE for what it was are very upset because, hang on, where's my political content? But there's growing a new kind of audience. It's a slow process, and it's getting there. The challenge is well and truly there. They've left my show alone because it's not a current affairs.
It wasn't,
anyhow.
News Talk anyway.
Yeah. So it's tended to do pretty well.
I like that it's gone to lifestyle. It's a lot more relatable, and as you said, you're going to get a whole new audience.
It's hard to get the message out over there. It's really difficult because there's sort of slate programs, at 10 o'clock this or whatever. But it's very similar to community radio too. When you might have this hour and something else.
Yeah, everything's different.
Yeah, it is.
You've worked in radio for like over 45 years.
That's
like,
right.
yeah. Not to remind you, I'm sorry. But
Hang on, I feel old now. Thank you.
Sorry.
Mudgee was
wisdom.
my first. Mudgee was my first at 18 years of age. Lived in a pub. How good was that, mate?
Jeez.
Guy, your home is a pub. and your radio station, and you think, oh man, how good.
What a life.
Yeah.
How could it get better?
It's been good, yeah. 200 Mudgee, 2BS Bathurst, 2LT Lithgow, 2GZ Orange, 2KO Newcastle, 2NX Newcastle, 2KA Katoomba, 200 Wollongong, 2GO, 2GB, 2CH, 2UE, Lifestyle, and WS.
Jeez.
And WSFM.
That's amazing memory. I'm like,
It's about the
keep
only
going.
thing I can remember. Yeah.
Wow. Sorry if he's missed any.
And you're one now.
Yeah, now mine. So how have you found the industry has changed over that time? Because that's
Oh man, has it changed?
several decades. And
Yeah. The pressure's on all forms of media, newspapers, TV and radio, because there's so many other ways of gathering your news and communicating. There's the YouTubes, your Googles, so many other things like the Instagram, and they're all out there vying for the advertising dollar. So what's happened? So, for example, newspapers, the Sydney Morning Herald, Fairfax brand in the suburbs, I think they're shutting down the Blacktown Sun, Parramatta Sun, and the Castle Hill.
That's a shame.
They're shutting them down. They're going to put it one magazine for all areas. Before that, they were thinning out on the journalists and that. So it's a very competitive world for the money. I don't know where it's going to stop. If you got one TV network just been bought out because they were bankrupt, Channel 10. Channel 9 sold out to a company that really not sure what they're going to do with it, and they're just trying to inflate the value so they can get their money back. And Channel 7, well, I've seen their shares go from $7 down to, I think, below $1, I think.
wow.
Yeah. So
You're opening
it's a
our
tough
eyes.
world. It's a tough world.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've had to adopt to a lot of that change in 45 years.
I've been very fortunate to be in radio at the right time, and I still am fortunate. My approach to radio is probably a little bit different from networking approach to radio, where one size fits all cities. I'm very much a hands-on local, and that's been the trick. I get out there, and when I say local, for my Brisbane listeners, I'm local to them, and for my Sydney listeners, I'm local to them. I just research it, so if they tune in, there's certain universal things with the music and that, but you get that local feeling. And I think in the end, it's going to be local that makes TV, radio, and newspapers maybe win.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Well, I've never actually thought of that before, so thank you. And when you first started out, was radio what you always wanted to do, or were there other careers that you...
Even at school, we ran a media class, and I left high school in 1969. It was a place called Joey's at Hunters Hill, and we set up our own TV station. And we broadcast it was a boarding school, broadcast to the dormitories, so they had their nighttime TV show, which was in-house. And
That is
as
so
you
cool.
can see, I got a great face for radio. So that's why I went into radio after seeing myself on the TV. And so always wanted to do it, and have been fortunate enough to do it.
And you've got the voice for it.
Oh, no.
No, yes, you do.
This is the voice after yesterday's Lions Club Christmas party. You get
Still
that
got
right.
that deep voice. Like, you could do, like, love song dedications.
Oh,
that would be
oh,
cool.
Yes.
Yeah. It'd be the new Richard Mercer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Richard's out in Dubbo radio, I think, at the moment. I think he works in 2DU Dubbo. I'm not sure. Hi, Richard.
Hi, if you're watching. And I did hear back in 2009 in the media, it was saying you had like a stroke before you went on air. Did they blow that out of proportion? Or?
Yeah, it wasn't ever. Yeah, good story. Now, what had happened, I do a lot of travel, and that involves long hours and flights and that. And we came back from overseas, and I was about to go on air, and my retina was detaching, and it's sort of like little sparks, like a fireworks display inside your head.
Whoa.
Now, I was about to go on air, but the show before me has a doctor, Dr. Ross Walker, and he said, Pete, you got to think it's the worst and get yourself to a hospital. He says, I can't diagnose you, but chances are, if it's a stroke, that's the worst thing you could be having. Get straight away to a hospital.
And that's what the media reported.
Off and run, because the guy filled in, Pete's had a stroke on air or something, and the next thing you know, it's out there. But it was a retina detachment, which is quite a serious thing anyhow, but it's all fixed, and I've got a lens put in now, which is perfect 2020 vision and all of that. But there's no way once it's out there, you can't get rid of it.
No.
So it'll always be out there on Wiki or something like that.
All you can do is do some interviews and go, this is not what happened.
True.
Yeah.
But, it frightened a lot of people, my audience and that too. And that's the kind, caring factor that came back. Oh, yeah, so, my turn hasn't arrived as yet.
Oh, good. And hopefully it's not anytime soon either. So you're still all good. No more health scares since then.
Got to lose weight. They all say you must lose weight. Yeah, I will.
Eventually. That's what everybody says, isn't it, though?
It's
as long as you're loving life, that's all that matters.
I think that's what you got to do. In this world we live in now, and that's why I wrote that dad book. And it was not even a book I planned, actually. But every day I try and put something on my Facebook that's happy and positive, and sometimes they're a joke or whatever, just to
smile.
Put a smile on your face, because the world's a bit cranky at the moment.
Very cranky.
Even at the lights,
and
they toot you, and all of that. If you're a second late, mind you, I could tell some funny stories about me and traffic lights, but I won't go there.
You have to come back on and we'll just do a traffic light.
Yeah, I went through a red light once and I said to the police, is that going to go against me when I want my licence? But anyhow. That's
a good joke to a police officer. I'm sure he didn't find it funny though, did he? So your radio career spanned across about 13 radio stations or something like that.
And most of them, not that it sounds like, I can't hold a job down. They've always been a long time, and they've always been related. So sort of work your way up.
45 years, that's a long time.
Work your way up through the network, and that's what they do. I don't sort of say, hey,
I've had enough of this. Next one.
Yeah, all related.
Though people might not know as well, I was surprised to read it as well, that you've also been a club performer and have entertained thousands with karaoke and cabaret shows.
Yeah, that's right.
Good on you. You're like living multiple passions. That's incredible.
Well, I did a show called Jukebox Saturday Night, which we did for 18 years at 2WS, WSFM, and we go out to a club and it'd be a big production show, big sound, big lighting, dancing girls, and just lots of prizes. And once a month we did it for 18 years. Matter of fact, last weekend they had the Jukebox Saturday Night reunion at Blacktown Workers, which I couldn't do because I'm on air. So another guy hosted on my behalf, and they crossed to me on air while I was.
That's fantastic!
So I saw some photos. It looked nice. It was just a reunion. And it was just sold as a reunion. It's not the Pete Graham jukebox show. Just one of the lighting guys who used to work at said, let's have a reunion. They approached me and I said, sorry, I can't.
Couldn't even get someone to cover for you.
It's
I'm working.
Yeah.
But how many years have you been doing that sort of performing?
80. Clubs. That one there was 1987 to 2000 and something. But before that, Bathurst, 2 years Bathurst, 1971, 72. My wife and myself had a record shop in Bathurst and also a disco nightclub.
That is so cool.
And I would have been about 20 or 21. And we had a
good time to own a club.
Yeah, and it was great. It was so in some way I've been using a microphone and PA systems for a while, and even recent years I host big civic events, say Liverpool Council or Parramatta Council. I've done their events, and what's my next one coming up? I think it's Australia Day. So I like to do that.
So you are still performing. That's fantastic.
Yeah, but not the club
as
stuff.
Much as you did.
Bit old for the clubs now. So let the next generation go through. Once you get to a certain age, we'll get the Pete Graham civic event guy. He's nice and mature.
Yeah, you're using your voice for heaps of things.
Little did they know.
Singing and talking.
Oh, well, not a good singer. Wish I could sing. My son Michael, one of my kids, he's got a brilliant voice. He could really do that. Let's
get him in here and perform for us.
He could be a cruise director again, which he was for Princess Cruises for years. Yeah, but you spend a lot of time overseas. You get very homesick. And we are a big family here at Club Graham.
Oh, Club Graham! I love that.
Only because people are coming and going. It's like a club.
Well, and your pokies and many great things here, by the way.
20-cent pokies, they are legal, those ones.
I don't know about that face. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of doing many things as well, you're
Yeah.
also a funeral director.
Yeah, what they call a funeral celebrant.
Yeah.
I did some grief counselling, and it's my way of sort of putting it back into the community, helping families out.
Yes.
I don't do it as a living because I don't think so, I want to do it as a living, but it's good to be able to help people. So I do a funeral, and I sit down with the family. I arrive with a blank piece of paper, and I design a farewell service that's really dignifies that person and helps the family. And I can't do too many because I really personalise it. And when you do that, you get to know the person and know the family, and you take on their grief a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say, is it a depressing job?
It can.
It looks like
can
it.
be, but it's also very good for the soul. And it's good for me because life's been great for me. And it's good to be able to help other people get over these things. How I came about to be a funeral celebrant, Alan Drew is a funeral director, and I've known him for 30 years, ever since I got down this way. And I've always emceed charity events, and he's not a bad auctioneer. And about 10 years ago, he said, "You ever thought about being a celebrant?" I said, "I'm not holy enough for a start, mate." I didn't have a clue. So I put myself through a lot of courses, and it's probably one of the best things I've ever done, in that position to just help people at their lowest.
Yeah. You've never tried wedding celebrants?
No, I'll be the biggest drunk at the party. That's why I go on air on Saturday night. They keep me out of the clubs and pubs.
Yeah. I love your honesty, though. So, since it is December as well, I just have to bring up your amazing Christmas light displays, because you've won
a lot of fun.
Best Christmas Light Display several years
and
well.
We never really entered any contests at all.
Just people found you and were
Yeah,
like,
that's it. Yeah, a bit embarrassing, yeah. Well, the Club Graham sign outside, there's two. Club Graham originally was dedicated by a federal member of Parliament, and then the Club Graham sub-branch, which is an extension we put on when the in-laws came to live here, was opened by the mayor. So we had no way of getting out of those things anyhow when they come around and they have a beer or a wine with them, things like that. And the next thing you know, you've been nominated. We don't do it to nominate. We do it to, get that spirit out there and community.
Good.
But people who come here are also invited to donate, say, some clothing or presents or food for the Parramatta Mission. And we've been doing that for about 11, 12 years now. So we take the stuff down there. Yeah. Oh, it's good to pop down there.
Is it getting harder to put lights up, or do you get...
No, it's easy.
Do you get help?
I get my wife and Zoe, my wife and the kids to do it.
I do it's a family project.
Yeah, I supervise. I do the garage, Santa's Cave, which means it won't fall off a ladder and things like that.
I like that. I'll supervise. I'll just tell you what I want.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you always have a plan for the display, or you kind of just wing it?
Yeah, Zoe's plan is, she's the organiser. And it's her idea, and it's I don't want to put myself out there because sometimes in the way society is, you'll always have a narc say, "Oh, he's only doing it for his own publicity." I don't. Any newspaper story, I'm not even in it.
Yeah.
And the neighbours, one neighbour's a sports manager of Glenn McGrath and Steve Smith, and he's not in it either. His wife and kids do it, so we just keep it low profile because it's not about us, it's about the lights and about
Christmas joy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
spread it.
Yeah,
because it's coming up very quickly. I think it's freaking everyone out, just a little.
Well, I've got to resurface my credit card. Yeah. Water thin.
So you can buy the presents. And
Well.
Keep it a bit late there, Pete. Though. Your latest project is a book called Welcome to Dadsville, Dad Jokes for Big Kids. Love that photo, by the way.
Dear. Yeah, that was taken by one of my kids, actually, the photo. Yeah. Andrew got the camera out and took it,
Isn't it funny? It's thicker than I thought it would be.
Yes, it's thick as a rider. And what happened, all it was is I put these little things on the Facebook every day, and Fiona Schultz, managing director of New Holland Publishers, who put it out, got on my Facebook and saw it, and she liked it. And then over a period of time, a couple of years, her office used to read it. And Alan Whittaker, one of the publishers inside the company, sent me a personal message on Facebook. Come in and have a talk. So I went over.
Am I in trouble?
Next thing you know, what have I done? And next thing you know, they've got a contract out for me to put my thoughts in the book. So I went back through about 8 years of what I've done. sorted a lot out and put it in little chapters. And it's like living in this fictitious place where all dads live. They live in a town called Dadsville.
That's true.
Yeah. So
Seems like a great book for my dad. He loves his dad jokes too.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole paragraph of dad jokes, the boom tish ones. Boom tish.
Yeah.
And there's other sort of other things that are a dad joke as such, but more like a reflection on life.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole chapter on the pub, the Dadsville pub, that's with the table of knowledge and some of the things that happen in the Dadsville pub. And there's a kid up the road who comes down and asks me questions. And there's the Dadsville City Limits chapter. So they're put in little chapters so it works.
So I was going to ask how long it took you to write, but if you were just putting things on Facebook, it's kind of a
well, that took a long time,
thing.
and a lot of them, over the years, I've forgotten about. Well, mind you, I can't even remember what I had for breakfast, but that happens when you get to my age. But yeah, so I've done it, and whether people buy it or not,
I hope they
neither
do.
here nor there. But if they pick it up in a bookstore, and if they get a little smile and a joke out of it, makes them feel good. That's done the job.
So what is your favourite dad joke?
Oh,
It's obviously in there.
There's a heap. Well, I sit down, I try and write as many different ones as I can, but after a while, you sort of spread them around. Would there be a favourite dad joke? I'm not quite sure. I like living in the Dadsville pub and the table of knowledge, and that's where a lot of things come to the surface. Like we went back after a funeral for the wake at the Dadsville pub, and the guy funeral he died playing tennis. And anyhow, we got hit in the head with a tennis ball, and we figured it was a lovely service.
I get it. Service.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, and that's the
I like
Dadsville
that.
pub, And,
Yeah.
There's lots of other little stories, like the imaginary story. I think this one wasn't one of mine, but someone told it to me and I put it in the book. At the Dadsville pub, the next door shop was a candle shop. Make all the candles?
Yes.
And it caught. So all the drinkers at the Dadsville pub stood outside the candle shop singing "Happy Birthday" to you. That's not mine, but I like it.
Did you have to give credit to them?
I don't know who wrote it, but yeah,
It's in there
too.
now.
It's about 90% are mine.
Well, I had a good laugh on one of the quotes from the book they actually put on Facebook, and he said, "If women ruled the world, there'd be no wars.
That's right.
Just a bunch of countries not talking to each
Yeah, that's
other."
right. So true.
Okay, I got to relate to that just a little bit. Yeah, that's good. All different types of jokes.
Yeah,
so.
lots of little ones in there. And, we just get it down. And sometimes I pick it up and I think, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. So yeah.
It's a good laugh for yourself.
Yeah, like I first noticed I was going bald when it took longer and longer to wash my face.
It's like, keeps going up.
Yeah, I'm sure that
My forehead got bigger.
Yeah, I'm sure that one day with poor old Zoe, my wife's got to put up with me in that. But one day I'll go to the bathroom and look in the mirror and there'll be a farewell note stapled to my forehead or something.
Oh.
Or like last week, just out of the bathroom in it's ensuite. And I looked myself in the mirror and I thought, oh man. I said, I'm old, I'm fat, I'm ugly. I said to Zoe, she's in bed still. I said, say something positive about me. She says, well, you've got good eyesight.
It's like, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you still love yourself though, don't you?
No.
Aw.
I'm a sex symbol for ladies who no longer care.
Oh, that was very
I could
depressing.
use it, couldn't I? I will in the next one.
You're a lovely man. You're
Thank you.
you love to give back, and I think more people need to be like that in this world
Well,
today.
it makes the world a better place, I reckon.
It does.
The way society is, we're rushing too much. We're not spending enough time with our family and friends, and working really long hours in all our businesses, and that just trying to get ahead. At the end of the day, when I do these funerals, I don't think there's anyone ever really said, oh, I wish I could have worked harder at work.
Yeah, no one ever says that. They want to spend more time with
That's right.
family and friends.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And so we always keep on the positive side. The only thing, I had a dream last night, talking about funerals. So I wake up in the middle of the night thinking, and I dreamt I did a funeral for the parking police guy.
Okay.
Yeah. And as the coffin was going down, you hear, hey, I'm still alive. I bent over the coffin. I said, sorry, mate, I've done the paperwork.
You're dead now.
Sorry.
To us, you're already dead.
It's bad.
That's a very bad dream. That's more like a nightmare. You wouldn't want that to happen.
Yeah. No.
No.
I'm always the last one to let you down.
That's true. No, at least it's not the
I've
first.
lost the plot. Oh, no, sorry.
So I guess you've always been the person that's always telling the bad, good dad jokes, however you want to look at it.
Yeah. That's why my wife's not here today. She's finally had enough of it.
She's like, I don't want to hear any more about
She's
dad
over it.
jokes
She is over it,
or the book or
the whole bit.
any of the above.
I gave her a book for Christmas present. We had a Kris Kringle at the Lions
That one?
Club. Yeah.
You gave her that book?
She's still not talking to me.
Oh gosh. Yeah, probably don't put that on the tree for her this year. I don't know if she'd forgive you.
Yeah, probably won't. Probably won't.
But also, congratulations are in order because you're now a granddad.
Yeah, don't know how that happened, but so been a big year in a way. In the last 12 months, we've had young Hugh get born, and now the other week in Adelaide, my daughter Cassie has young Jay. So I've got 2 grandsons and a granddaughter. So all of a sudden it's good. I don't know how it happens or anything like that. And I don't believe in vasectomies because the bloke at the table of knowledge at the pub says these vasectomies are not what they're supposed to be. He says all they ever do is they don't work. All they do is change the colour of the baby.
That's in there too. Okay. So I'm guessing you're going to be teaching them some good dad jokes
yes, I'll
too.
sit them all down.
When they're
I can
older.
just see them all around. Yeah, train them before.
Granddad.
Yeah. Oh, Dad. And there's a whole chapter of Dad.
Yeah.
They're the boomtish ones, which are the real dad jokes.
So I think this is a really, really good book for people to buy their dads for Christmas.
Yeah. Well,
Unless you don't want to hear more bad dad jokes.
Oh, man, lots of little stories and that, you know. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. There's like little drawings and stuff as well. Little symbols, I mean.
And it's, a lot of fun.
That's cool. I'm going to have a read of that later. And we'd love to know, do you have any advice for the listeners who might want to write their own book?
Well, having never been an author or... I don't know what to do, but social media...
You just put little bits together.
Yeah, social media is the way to get in. I had no idea that this would be picked up by a publishing company. And that, I work occasionally with Jo Abbey, who's big on social media, and through that she's now working for Honey or something, which is a Channel 9 offshoot, and doing interviews and creating a job, which wasn't there 10 years ago.
So it was meant to be.
It was. Sadly.
Without even knowing it, you wrote a book while updating your status on Facebook.
That's exactly right, yeah. Which reminds me, I better do some more updating too.
Yeah.
Then Zoe rings me and says, get off Facebook.
It's like you haven't updated for a while. Are you think you're writing another book as well?
Well, I've got enough material for another book. Whether they want it, see how they go. They've printed 10,000 copies. See how they go.
Yeah.
They've had a little bit of trouble getting it into the stores. It should be there within days before Christmas, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's on Booktopia with internet site where you can pre-order and they'll get it delivered on Booktopia. I think that's the one. I hope it's the right site. I hope it's not one of those X-rated ones. That'll be my luck.
It's not. It's all good.
Okay.
I've checked.
Okay.
So everyone go check it out. Good Christmas present for
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you.
And even though you've already achieved so much in your career, Pete, what else can we expect from you in the future?
Well, what I do like is travel. And
Everybody does.
And with about 9 years ago, I got some neighbours, or maybe longer than that, got some neighbours together and I said, why don't we pitch and say, okay, there's going to be 30 of us, what's the best deal you airlines and shipping mobs can do for us? And they came back. So every year, Club Graham travellers negotiate and travel. A couple of months ago, we went to Cuba.
Wow, how was that?
And that was really, really good. So we went via USA, then we went to Mexico, then Cuba, and back into the USA. So we negotiated a great deal. Now, I've seen other people out there in the media advertising similar things. We came in about a third the price.
Wow.
And just beautiful, absolutely incredible accommodation and that. So Club Graham Travellers. And we're trying to negotiate one for November next year. But we do them every year. just a bunch of friends or friends of friends. So we got no cranky pants and things
Yeah.
like everyone of a similar thing, and we have a good time.
So that's the way to do it. Get everyone together.
Yeah, so I'll put it up on the Facebook, and people can maybe see it when the next one's coming around. It should be pretty soon. We just got to negotiate with an airfare to China, actually.
So that's where you want to go next?
Yeah, so go to China. We've got the cruise, we've got the cabins allocated, and they're beautiful cabins. And it's a cruise virtually from China, Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, Bali, Thailand, Ceylon, and right across the bottom of India into Oman and then Dubai.
Wow.
So it's about a 24-day cruise.
Jeez, can I come?
Yeah, of course, yeah. It's going to be good value. And say when you get to Hong Kong, you get there in the morning, stay there overnight, stay there all the next day and sail at 6 the next night. So all the ports are sort of 2 days and overnight. And that's the way of doing it, yeah. So we haven't quite got it all out, but hopefully Club Graham Travellers will release a price, and then we'll say, yeah, okay, these people want to go, and these, yeah. So then you don't have to put a deposit on or anything like that, but just your name and your passport or something, and they will hold those until, say, February, then they'll ask for a deposit.
And Hong Kong's beautiful. You're going to love Hong Kong.
Yeah. Shopping. You've been talking to Zoe, haven't you? Yeah.
No, but...
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so
but have some fun.
Yeah.
A bit more money spent,
Yeah,
which may be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know.
Work out the credit card again. Work it out, yeah.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
You might be coming back with a lot less than you thought.
Yes, I know.
Yes. But cheaper than shopping here, I guess.
Yeah.
When you think about it. And Pete, what advice would you give to the listeners who might want to become a radio host or a funeral celebrant, club performer, or any of the amazing things that you do in your life?
Just be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself.
Okay.
Not everyone can climb a tree. I'm not in the same league as your Hadleys or your Alan Jones or your John Laws. I'm quite happy. I've been successful at WS, and I think to this day I'm the only WS announcer to be number one AM and FM, beating the whole lot.
Wow.
Nowadays they say, oh, we're number one at FM, but I was number one of everything quite a few times. And that was good, but that's a long time ago. But I think just be honest with yourself, have fun doing it, put your heart in it, but keep your life in balance. Keep your life in balance, because you can't fake sincerity, and if you're going to do anything in the public eye, you've got to be sincere about it. You can't be that person on the TV and that person a different one in real life, because it will bite you on the bum, as it has.
Oh yeah, people notice it. You've got to stay grounded, because you're very humble. I love it. It's good that you've stayed like that over the 45 years that you've been in radio and in the spotlight.
Yeah, well, I don't go to many of those big functions, where, it's the first night of this or whatever of that. Because what they tend to do, so you're at the first night, I'm at the first night, and they're looking over your shoulder, and I'm talking to you, you're talking to me, and oh yes, yeah, like that.
Who else is here?
Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
Anymore?
I
did
did
before?
Yeah, I used to do it, and I thought, nah, this is rather be here with the Christmas lights and a beer.
Yeah. Or if you're going to have a conversation, actually look them in the eye.
Exactly
and,
right.
You can go see everyone else later.
Exactly.
To be in the moment. That's very good advice. Thank you very much for that, Pete.
You're right.
And we are getting to the end of the interview, unfortunately. I know.
Time for the pub.
It's gone very, very fast. And I've learned a lot, so thank you.
You're right.
But as a closing statement, and was probably the most important question, knowing what you know now, what would you tell your 14-year-old self?
Yeah, it's a different world.
Yeah.
Now. I don't know what job's going to be around in the next 10, 15 years. It's a changing world. I think be true to yourself, follow your dream, but also have a certain realisation that that dream may be achievable, may not be achievable. But if you're true to yourself and your friends and your family, you'll always have support around you. Not everyone will hit that dream, not everyone will make that target, but you have that network of support around you. And then, when you do hit it, or whatever, also, university, not everyone. If everyone went to university and got a degree, what happens then to the people who drive the truck who picks up the rubbish, or the people over at Myers serving and that? We've got to be happy with what you do.
Yeah,
is the problem, I think. And what will happen then? Something will happen. Always does. Always does. Don't worry about yesterday. It's gone. Don't worry about tomorrow. You don't know, but just be in the present.
I like that. Be in the moment, like I said before.
Yeah, exactly.
All related. I love it. And before we go, if the listeners would like to contact you or find out what you're up to, where should they go?
Oh, okay. On Facebook, just search for Pete Graham. Once you see this ugly mug, and there's Pete Graham or Pete Graham Radio. They're both the same. That's one way to contact us. Of course, we've got our Christmas lights at Club Graham in Castle Hill. Everyone knows the whole street. We're just one of those homes, so you won't even know which one's mine. But it's in Grand Oaks Place. I don't think I've got any enemies. I hope not. So I've got nothing to fear.
I hope not.
I've got nothing to fear from anyone because I've always treated them with respect and courtesy.
And they won't know which house down here it is anyway.
And they won't know which house is Steve Smith's or Glen McGrath's manager's house either.
Ooh, it's all just mysterious.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And of course, make sure to check out the book as well.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Dadsville.
Yeah.
Oh, other way around. There you go.
we had a lot of people in this neighbourhood over the years, like Rebel Wilson lived around the corner, and around the other side there was Johnny Brewster of the Angels. Living next door to him was Alan Lancaster from a band called the Status Quo. So they all went under the radar.
Who would have thought that in Castle Hill?
Yeah,
there you go.
The belt buckle of the Bible belt. Who would have thought that?
Oh, does Rebel Wilson's family still live here? I know she's not, obviously, but they all moved
on, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Dad's passed away a couple of years ago.
They
come, they go. And Johnny Brewster is in Adelaide, and Alan Lancaster, I'm not sure where he is. He must be still in Sydney, but he's moved on because their kids all went to school with my kids, so they're all...
Yeah, they're all grown up. Everybody moves on.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Except me. Maybe I should move on.
No. If you're comfortable here, you're happy, that's all that matters. Yeah, and I think your Facebook page is definitely a place to go as well for some, put a smile on your face every day with some funny dad jokes.
Now the pressure's on. I've got to come up with another one. Okay.
Oh, Let's take them out of your book.
Yeah, I'll do that, yeah.
There's a lot in there. Yeah. I know you'll probably run out eventually, but,
a lot of good things.
Ask other dads and you'll probably get some more. There you go. Good idea for you. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, Pete. It's been a pleasure.
It's an honour. It's a real honour.
And thank you again for having us.
And next time you come back into work and I'll get you on the phones again. And maybe this time on the other side of the glass and you get on air with me.
Ooh.
There we go.
I'm up for either. Whatever you need me for, Pete, I will be there. You just give me a call. But I'd love to have you on again in the future as well. So if there's anything else you want to come on and chat about, you know where to find me. But for everyone watching, make sure to check out Welcome to Dadsville. For now, I know. Oh, look at that face. Very, very handsome. But for now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.